Good afternoon again. Really, I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm sorry that there is still so much disruption in my life, but I think with the idea and I have in progress, more and more people have become aware. And really, every time that there is any kind of disruption or interrupting me from traffic, it's an offense against me. It isn't anything that I had ever participated in. And minutes ago, well, I forget, about a half hour ago, maybe. I was reminded of something else that is really terrible, terrible interference in my life, something else that was done to me sneakily. I detailed against the accusation in a video I made on the roadside back on March 31st, that there are some who accuse me of being a murderer, when the fact is I've never even hurt anyone. All through my life, there was all kinds of different stressful circumstances, and when I was younger, there were sometimes, rowdy kind of scenes, but personally, I never even hurt anyone. But the former stepfather and my mother and others decided to secretly accuse me of being a murderer. And a while ago, after there had been some friendly commenting pertaining to these messages, that they intervened again and they started saying the same accusation again. And another person associated with him, whom I had really cared about earlier in life, a former stepsister by the name of Robin, got with the confusion, claiming that the former stepfather, her father, and others are suppressing against everything in my life, using their secret accusation. That no matter who I report to, no matter who I report against the accusation, that they're secretly continuing. It's really terrible to always be sneakily suppressed against when you're working on so much that could be important to others. You know, it's just, uh, really very, uh, it's very tiring to always be intruded in. Earlier this afternoon, pertaining to whatever other subject. I'm sorry if the screen's wavering a little bit. I'm holding my laptop. Uh, Pertaining to the message earlier about when I was in high school in Sebring, about the subject of the hernia operation. That years later, that it was alleged that they basically invaded into my life and usurped against my life about everything ever since. That during the same time frame, it's alleged now that there was a secret funeral somewhere in the Sebring area, maybe in Lake Placid, I don't know, that used a dummy, a lifelike dummy that looked like me, and that I was supposed to have maybe caught on to the idea when I had a part-time job delivering flowers for a Sebring area florist shop named Hobby Hill. Uh, it was a nice job, actually. I know some people, I didn't think about it at the time, but years later I learned that some had a real negative idea about a man driving a florist shop van. But it was a nice van, and I liked delivering flowers to ladies. And one of the other tasks was, of course, delivering to funeral homes. And I do remember on one occasion delivering to a downtown Sebring funeral home when I walked in, and I saw one of the directors bent over a casket, apparently adjusting, the hair of whoever. And I just, you know, said, "Where do you want me to put the flowers?" And it startled him, and he stood and he looked at me and he gasped, and uh, for a moment he didn't say anything, and then he looked at me and he says, "Sorry that I look like someone he planted months ago, months before or whenever." So anyway, but then he just instructed me where, and so I nicely placed the flowers and drove back away. But now somebody, after all these years, well, others are falsely accusing me of being a murderer. Somebody else it goes way back to the high school time frame pertaining to what I was mentioning earlier, alleging that there had been a secret funeral and that they had used somebody who resembled me. So anyway, just another detail to enter into this record, and this again, as I've said, that the participants in what is done to me have often said threats and intents against others, alleging that they have a national kind of influence, saying intents against our nation people. And this is always for our people and nation being saved instead.